Hey guys, what's going on? Super excited to do this video, and it's no surprise because you can see the title. My newest knife to add to my collection. ZT, Serious Missions, Serious Knives. The knife's not in this box because it's in my pocket. You ready for this, guys? First ever seen on my channel, the highly anticipated, just amazing frickin' knife, the ZT-0560. I bet you guys didn't think you'd see us on my channel, did you? Well, that makes two of us. Oh man, I've wanted this knife for so long. I've never talked about it. I never even alluded to the fact that I was getting one. A few of you already knew. I kind of dropped little hints here and there. A few of you guys knew. I knew Blade Reviews knew, and a few other people. This is just such an incredible knife. This is going to be a rambling video, so I hope you guys don't mind. This is just an amazing knife, and I gotta talk about it. It is just incredible. First of all, this was a birthday gift from my parents for my 21st birthday. It's not now. My birthday is June 14th. But this knife popped up on GP Knives. It was available, and I knew if I didn't jump on it, then I'd have to wait until about February, I think, is the next major manufacturing batch is coming out. So I knew if I didn't jump on it now, then I'd have to wait. So I did the unboxing of it yesterday. I did not film it. I wanted to open it in front of my parents because, I don't know, like, I share that kind of stuff with you guys all the time here on YouTube. My family never gets to see my initial impressions of a knife. And, you know, they heavily support my knife addiction. You know, they're very supportive of it, and they love it for me. So, you know, they never get to enjoy seeing my initial impressions of a knife that I'm really excited about. So I wanted to give them that, since it was a gift, you know. So I wanted to do that. And this gives me time to give you guys a 24-hour observation, I guess you could say, video. And I just want to talk about this knife. This is just such an incredible blade. It is big. I didn't bring a knife down here to compare it. It is a little bit smaller lengthwise than a Spyderco Military, but it's thicker, as it was more wide. Thickness this way, it's about the same, actually. Maybe this is a little bit thicker. So like I said, I got this off of GP Knives for $260. I did have the 561 in my cart, but by the time I hit submit order, they were already sold out. So I'm not going to say I was settled for this. The 561 is the one that I preferred over the two, but it doesn't really matter. I'm in love with this knife, no matter what. So this is an incredible knife. I'm not going to open it just yet. I'm going to build the suspense. One thing I did notice, online a lot of these looked like they were kind of a satin finish, the titanium side. Mine is very heavily sandblasted. Feels great, and it looks, in my opinion, looks really sexy. That matte gunmetal finish, I love it. So I'm actually glad that it's more finished. PRS Player here on YouTube, he does a lot of great videos. He does a lot of custom scale work and custom work on knives. And he had the 560, and then he sold it to get the 561, and he was talking about how the 560 or the 561 has a heavier blasted frame. Well, this looks just like the one he had. He said the 560 had a more satin finish look. So I don't know, maybe this is just, maybe it's random, but I really love that dark finish on this scale. So that is amazing. This is a titanium pocket clip. Whoop. This is a titanium clip, you can see by the edges. Titanium just has a very distinct look. You can tell it's a titanium clip. So that's nice. Of course, you have the Hinderer lock bar stabilizer to stop over travel of the lock bar. Look how they laser cut out that lock bar, guys. There you can see no gap. It's such a good job. Usually there's a gap about that size, just all the way down. They did a really good job on that. The G10 side, love it. Love the pattern. Very, very grippy. Up and down like that way. in that direction. Like I can feel the heat on my thumb build up from the friction. Up and down, your hand can like slide around. You know, there's not that much traction going this way, but a ton this way. Excuse me. A few people online said this is too aggressive. I don't see how this could be too aggressive. One, this isn't on this side, so it's not going to rip up your pocket. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, I'm bearing down as hard as I can. You can see my thumb is not moving that much. This side, some people said this side's really smooth. It's not that smooth. Like I said, maybe mine, I just got a more heavier blasted frame. But mine, I mean, there's a good amount of traction. Like, I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear my thumb sliding up and down it. You get a good amount of traction, but this slides onto your pocket super easily. So that was one thing that I was worried about at first. Like, man, I hope that doesn't rip up my pocket because it looks kind of aggressive. But it doesn't. No worries there. The pocket clip is very well executed. Normally, I hate deep carry pocket clips. ZT did this one right. I really love this. I'm gonna try not to go into too much detail. I'm gonna save all this kind of stuff for the review. But 4-way positional pocket clip. I just love the overall look. This is such an amazing looking knife. Like, some people got theirs and sold it because they said it was too tactical and aggressive looking for them. I can understand that, but I'm very much into the tactical, kind of mechanical looking knives, which is why I am a huge fan of the Hinderer XM line of knives. I cannot come anywhere near affording an XM18. You know, I know some people that are my age that have 5. You know, I cannot afford it. I don't know what they're doing to afford it, but so this is the closest that I could possibly come to getting one. And in some people, in a lot of ways, this is better. So anyway, I'm gonna finally open it for you guys. All right, you ready? I mean, just no effort whatsoever. Get a good look at that blade. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see the logo. The way they laser engraved it, it's like a 3D look. I don't know how they did it because you can't feel it. They just did like an amazing job of that. I don't know if you can see it in the light. The stone wash finish. It's a very light stone washing. Not a whole lot of videos show the stone wash. Beautiful finish. I really love it. It feels very, very smooth. Of course, you got this very nice long, it's 3 3/4 inches long, I believe. Drop point. You do have a swedge up top, but it does not run all the way down to the tip. Like, you can see how it thins out and then thickens. Same way the XMs, the XM18s and 24s have, which makes the tip very strong. So you could do a lot of tip work with this knife and probably not break it. You get a very nice high flat grind. It is flat, not hollow. I really, really love it. ZT did a great job on the cutting bevel, in my opinion. They set it pretty far back, which I like. You know, they didn't screw it up like Benchmade does. Sorry to all the Benchmade fanboys out there, but I'm sorry, Benchmade's grinds are awful. I think they're getting better about it, but my Griptilian that I got, the grind was so steep I could not hardly even cut printer paper with it fresh out of the box. But anyway, this came absolutely stupid sharp. I did do a few passes on a ceramic, from the ceramic rod from my sharp maker, because the factory edge came very toothy. It was a very toothy edge for where it came off of the grinder. So you can definitely, like when you run your fingernail up it, you can definitely feel some catches. It's not that smooth, but this is a hair shaving sharp blade. So if I can, this is a crinkled up piece of paper. So, I mean, it's very, very sharp. Just right out of the box. Well, pretty much right out of the box. I mean, it was that same sharpness out of the box. My ceramic didn't seem to do anything. Stropped it up a little bit. But anyway, I didn't want to do too much work to the edge. I wanted to, but I didn't, because I want to be able to test the edge retention of the LMAX steel. You can see LMAX. My serial number is 1259. Most people's reviews I saw on this knife, theirs was still in the double digits. A few of them had some in the hundreds. Mine's in the thousands. You can see Hinderer Design USA. Just an incredible knife. Like I said, mine may differ than some other people's. Some people were talking about the detent, about it being overwhelming, you know, where they couldn't push the thumb stud out. I don't know if my detent's different or some people just don't know how to handle knives. And I hate to put it so blunt and hope that nobody thinks I'm rude by saying that. But I think anybody with basic knowledge of knives can deploy this knife. I've been deploying it with the thumb studs primarily. I haven't used the flipper too much. I mean, it's no problem. But the detent, I mean, it's not weak. It's the same detent as everybody else's, if I'm not mistaken. Some people, though, they would just slowly open it and you could hear the detent crack. You know, from where it broke away from the hole in the blade. Mine doesn't do that. You can see how it sinks in. Like I said, I don't know if my detent's just a lot weaker, I guess, than some other people's, but I mean, mine easily deployed with the thumb studs. Very easily. Now, it depends on how they're holding it. I automatically hold my fingers back like this. And I kind of choke down on the handle. I saw a lot of people online try to do it like this, with their fingers resting on the lock bar. Yeah, when you do that, you're not going to be able to open it. But that's what I'm saying. If you have basic knowledge of knives, you know not to do that on a frame locking knife. So, just if some people were thinking, you know, they wanted this knife, but, you know, they're like, well, some people said you can't open it with the thumb studs. No, it's all how you open it. The detent is not that strong on this knife. It is very strong, though, but I'm just saying it's not so strong you can't use the thumb stud. Now, you can ricochet it out of the handle, because the blade is very heavy. You know, you can. But that's not a deterrent. That's a very heavy blade. Which leads me to my next point. The KVT system, the Kershaw Velocity Technology. It is a round piece of blue polymer. I don't know if you'll be able to see it down there. Yeah, see the little pieces of blue? They're little blue rings, and set into these blue rings are stainless steel ball bearings. Very, very small ball bearings. So this knife rides against a series of ball bearings on either side of the blade instead of your Teflon or phosphor bronze washers, which is what makes this knife so smooth. It is not assisted, but it feels like it is, and the knife just drops back into place. Now, like normally on a flipper knife, you have to really, you have to really flip it back. No, that was just me placing my finger down on the back of the knife. Very, very smooth. I'm not flicking my wrist at all. Look, the knife is even... It's just insanely smooth. And a lot of people said you cannot control open this knife. Here again, that's bunk as well. It is a little bit harder just using a thumb stud. But what I do is I put my index finger back here on the flipper at the same time as I move the thumb stud. It is just buttery smooth, guys. As Red Gladius would say, buttery smooth. I'm not making fun of him. He knows I'm just playing with him. But I love this design. Like, the design is incredible. It's what you can expect from Hinderer and ZT. Now, this is my first ZT knife, by the way. Ergonomics are perfect on this knife. Like I said, if you can get a feel for how big it is in my hand, I have pretty large hands. The jimping up top, like everybody says, it is a little aggressive, but it's no big deal. I'm not going to complain about it, because people need to understand this. People keep comparing this to an XM. This is not an XM. This is a zero tolerance knife. People keep comparing it to an XM18. An XM18 is not a combat folder. It is not a hard use combat knife. Is it a hard use knife? Yeah, probably. It is not designed for military and law enforcement. This knife is. That's why it's so aggressive. They made the jimping aggressive because people are going to be using this with gloves on. And that jimping is going to dig into your gloves. You're not going to feel it on your hands. So people need to understand this knife was driven and built in the design of a Hinderer, but for military and law enforcement purposes. So people need to understand that and not try to compare it to a knife that's meant as a high-dollar EDC blade. It's just different applications. So, like I said, a lot of people don't get that, and they're just like, well, this isn't an XM18, it's not as smooth as one, it doesn't have this. But the jimping It is a little aggressive, but like I said, you can take some 600 grit sandpaper lightly to this and smoothen it out if you want. I'm not going to. The chipping on the blade is nothing. It doesn't do anything just because it's stone washed. Chipping down here in the bottom, here again, it's very aggressive, but it's not uncomfortable. Like, fully gripping this knife, it's not that uncomfortable. Very, very smooth. By the way, here's my lockup. That's going to lead me to my next point, though. Something I was horribly disappointed with. This knife has up and down blade play. So, it's not something I've heard anybody else talk about with this knife, but I know you won't be able to hear it, but I don't even have to wrench on the blade that much. I can just feel it, and I can actually hear it. And there's nothing I can do to fix that. Now, it has none side to side whatsoever. I mean, it is absolutely rock solid in that dimension. Blade centering's perfect. So, I was very disappointed this knife has blade play, but like I said, you can see the lockup. I can actually manually push the lock over to right there. And now it has, no, well, it has a little bit. Push the lock over. Still has a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Like I said, it is very noticeable though in the hand. And that, that honestly, you know, that makes me really upset because this was a very expensive knife. Plus it was a gift. And it was a knife that I had been anticipating for the longest time. And I've never heard anybody complain about that. I've never heard anybody say, you know, their ZT has blade play. Let alone their ZT 560 or 561. So it made me really discouraged because here again, it's like with my Yojimbo. I had horrible luck with my Yojimbo. That's why you don't see it anymore because I returned it. It had blade play. It had a crunchy operation, like a horrible lockup. The edge was wrecked. I had awful luck with that knife, and I was anticipating that knife so much. Here again with this, I was anticipating it, had crappy luck, and got the one with blade play. So, you know, if I'm not that well versed in the world of titanium frame locks, I know there are communities, you know, of people that are just collect frame locks, titanium frame locks. So maybe you guys can tell me, is that, you know, is this knife going to settle into a further position and lock up solid? Or should I send it back? Or send it in to have ZT try to fix it? Because, you know, everybody just talks about how much of a tank this knife is, and mine has blade play, very, very noticeable blade play. But like I said, if I push the lock over until I can't push it anymore, then it has, well, I don't know, it wasn't doing it earlier when I was testing it out. Earlier I'd pushed the lock over and it had no blade play. Now it still does. That's the one problem I have with knives that use the thumb studs is the stop pins. It's because normally you can adjust the stop pin and blade play will go away. This is just a stationary thumb stud. You can't fix it. And if there is a... I noticed if I took a piece of legal paper and put it right there in that crease, and then when the knife was open it had no blade play. So the lockup fail is the correlation between, or the relation between the thumb stud / blade stop and then the lock bar is just off slightly. I don't know which one it's off on, but you know, I don't want a knife. I don't want a $260 knife with blade play because I have $20 knives that have no blade play. So that was very discouraging. Like I said, if you know, if there's anything I can do, let me know. Because like I said, I'm not very well versed in titanium frame locks. This is my first. So if you guys got one and yours had blade play, you know, let me know. I'd like to know if I'm the only one in the community who has this knife that has one with blade play, or maybe if yours had blade play. Or like I said, if you think I should return it, or not return it, but send it in for warranty repair. I'm going to carry this for a few more days and just see if the lock, because the lock already settles, or has settled more. Because when I first got it, it was about right there, and now it's already settled a little bit. So, that's just from a day of playing with it. So, I know that some people are going to say, you know, send it to Tough Thumbs, have it carbonized, but I don't know. That's not always a 100% fix. So, yeah, guys. Other than that little blade play issue, this is, in my opinion, the perfect knife, and I absolutely love it. Just a beast of a knife. Oh, it's so amazing. Like I said, I never thought I'd have one on my channel. It is just an insane knife. Now, it's not for everybody. It is very tactical. If you're not into tactical folders that are very aggressive looking, then this is not your knife. If you want a big tactical looking knife with amazing features and technological advances, in my opinion, excuse me, then this is the knife for you. Kai Cutlery has really stepped their game up with this knife. Kershaw used to just be the company that made amazing knives fit and finish wise for the money, but they were always that knife company that the person who is a knife beginner, like beginning out with their collection, they would buy a Kershaw knife to feel like they had a high dollar knife. That was their first step up to feeling like they had a high dollar knife. And Kershaw is no longer becoming that company. Kershaw, ZT, or just Kai Cutlery, whatever you want to call it. They are now becoming the company that sets the bar. You know, that used to be Spyderco, but playing with this knife and seeing some of the fit and finish and the way it's executed really makes me think. And I can definitely see myself getting more ZT knives in the future. And like I said, Kai Cutlery, Kershaw, ZT, whatever, they really stepped it up. They really did. They really set the bar and put a lot of amazing materials into this knife for not a lot of cost. So I know a lot of people, I saw a lot of fanboys on there talking about this knife sucks because it's not an XM18. You know, can't believe they're trying to be an XM18 because you know XM18s are perfect. I'm sure that's a great knife, but like I said, once you get past all that fanboyish stuff, you know, that biased, opinionated stuff, you know, you listen to the people who are non-biased. You know, they'll tell you this is a better knife because it offers better materials. You get LMAX steel, which is amazing. You get a ball bearing system, and you get just a little bit here and there, like attention to detail. So, I mean, like I said, it just seems like a steal, no pun intended. So, amazing knife. Hate it that it has blade play though. So, let me know if this is, like I said, anything I can do about that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Expect many more videos of this knife in the future. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614. Peace.